I think we've discovered that I'm not a plotter, but I'm not a pantser either. You're definitely a pantser, but I'm plot-ish enough, let's say that. So you definitely know that I'm an organized person when I literally send out a save the date for my birthday party 2 months beforehand.
That is pretty organized. Like, I feel like I'm organized and people tell me I'm a very organized person, but I'm like, there's a holiday coming.
It's a blessing and a curse at the same time. It's a blessing in the sense that at least all my stuff is organized, but then sometimes I'm just like, oof, that's a bit too much. I even exhaust myself.
There's a difference between being organized in my work and being organized in my daily life.
I'm like, I don't even question
No?
whether you decided you wanted to come or not, because apparently you don't even respect my RSVP date. Anyway, so glad we had that rant.
I understand some people just kind of like flying by the seat of their pants and everything in life, but there are times when you have to coordinate with people.
And I understand things happen. I think there should be a nice balance between your organization skills and your flexibility skills.
I love this conversation for what we're about to talk about. So I am loving all of the cups that I am finding. So this is one of my cups because I like it because it's white on the inside and then this pretty gray on the outside.
That is
It
a
goes
good, pretty color. It's almost like a charcoaly color.
and it's big, so it's like it could be a mug, but also it's cute. So
it looks humongous. I love it. It will start as hot coffee for me and then end as iced tea. Iced coffee, basically.
That's what I'm saying. It's versatile.
I decided that today is the day that I'm going to drink some cool drink. So I have a little bit of a raspberry cool drink over here. For the people who don't understand South African slang, cool drink is a soda, you know.
Thank you for translating.
I want people to learn. I want people to embrace, different cultures, is what I'm saying. Alrighty, are we ready for this episode?
I think we are. I hope we are.
Alrighty, so let's do this. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tea and Tales. I'm Madeleine Einel.
And I'm Sarah Sampson. We want to thank all of our viewers and listeners for tuning in each week. We especially want to thank Rebecca Danzenbaker and John Willett. So today's episode, we have officially titled it Chill Your Guava, but I might add like Chill Your Guava writer, because what we're talking about is relaxing into the process, which I find it hilarious because our opening was all about schedules and have your stuff together and be scheduled. So I think it's funny. And maybe it's good that I'm the pantser in this and I'm like, just chill your guava, my friends. It'll be fine. The book will come out when it comes out.
Right. And I think especially in this industry, publishing, especially if you decide to do traditional publishing, can be a very long process. Querying can be a very long process. I mean, a majority of agents say, we'll get back to you in 12 weeks. 12 weeks doesn't sound bad. 3 months sounds horrible. I'm like, what's happening over here? Like, sheesh. Mm-hmm. Yes, I feel this industry, there are authors who share their personal stories, like Nisha, for example. And she was like, yes, she got this agent, and then just wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, and just kind of hit one after the other.
Even with Nisha, though, it took her years of doing her own self-publishing before she found that agent and everything took off.
Very true. And then you have authors like Anneke Vliegen. She's a very slow writer, and that is something that her publisher understands. And so she will not be releasing a new book every 6 weeks because she's like, that does not work for me. And so I think, yes, every author is different, every reader is different. You have readers who read a book a day, then you have readers who read one book every 6 months, which is perfectly fine however you approach it. There's nothing wrong with listening to an audiobook. It has the word book in it, so I feel it's a book.
It's still the same book. I just know how to pronunciate the names.
Except recent will always be not recent, it's recent. Thank you very much.
I feel like some authors feel the pressure that you have to release. You have to be able to keep up with the great people who release 3 books, 4 books a year, and you feel that pressure to keep up with it. But as Jessica Faust told us when she was here, she said, your pace of writing is going to change when you actually start publishing, because you start adding all these different elements in. You can't be writing at the same speed. Don't put that kind of pressure on yourself. Go ahead and relax. If right now you can write 3 books a year, baby, do it. Get that in your drawer. Have those things that you can put out when you start building up your publishing and you get all that together. But at the same time, you can't just sit and write a book. You do have to pay attention to your other work or your children or something else. Take a breather. You don't need to put that kind of pressure on yourself.
Yes, but don't do the extreme and be like, Sarah said I should chillax. So you know what? Do I need to do my writing today? No, because Sarah said it'll come when it comes. So 3 years, it's fine. I can go ice skating now. It's like no. You still have to prioritize it. You can just do it in a more relaxed manner.
Like Brenda Copeland said, get your bum in the seat every day and do something. So you do have to keep moving forward each day, but don't feel like you have to match other people's pace.
And I think it comes in just different aspects of your writing process as well. I really, really, really want to query the novel that I finished last year. Actually, I wanted to query last year, April. Then I was like, okay, I'm in this beta reading group right now, so we went through my novel and I had a few scenes to fix, and I was like, okay, this might take some time. And then, life happens and family and work and all those things. So it just kind of took longer than I expected, which my organized brain is malfunctioning. Then I came to, I think it was November-ish, and I finished all the scenes that I wanted to finish, and I did the line editing that I wanted to do. And so I just want to send it out one last time to some more beta readers. And then I want to send out my query letters. Depending on how hasty you are, you would be like, hi, would you mind reading this for me? I need it by this date. I'm not that person. I'm just like, you're doing me a favor. So whenever is fine for you would be fine. Thank you very much. But in my inside, I'm like, can you please finish it in 2 days? Type of vibes. Yes, and so I gave it to the 3 people. And then I'm just sitting there waiting. I'm like, are they done yet? I don't want to text them and be like, are you done yet? Because then they're going to get annoyed with me. And then I want everyone to beta read another novel of mine again. So then the new year comes. And then I'm like, I still haven't heard from them. And I'm like, no, they won't forget. Which, side note, there's nothing wrong with nudging someone. It's the same with an agent. There's nothing wrong with nudging someone. Just do it in a kind manner. I was like, okay, so let's focus on something else. Let's, rework my query letter. Let's rework my synopsis. Let's, rearrange my agent list that I have. So once I do get my beta readers to give back the feedback, then I will only have to focus on that. And then the rest will be reviewed. I can start querying. And so, yes, it was definitely a process for me to chill my guava and to be like, it will come when it comes. It's fine.
Not to put that energy out into the readers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that is the hardest part of the writing process, is the waiting moments. And I see a lot of authors who get caught up in the waiting for your beta reader to get back, waiting for an agent to reply to you. If you sent it out to an editor for them to get back to you about anything on your manuscript. We need to have ways that we combat this waiting period. Because if all you're doing is sitting down and then checking your email and 5 minutes later checking it again and then checking it again and going down rabbit holes on Facebook, you're going to drive yourself crazy as a writer. And so I always like to default to what I learned when I started listening to these agent calls on our Pitch to Publish group, where they kept saying, what's next? What are you doing next? When I find myself getting into this cycle, I would ask myself, what can I be world building? What can I be planning? Do I have a story that I want to write this year? Let's focus on that so that they can have their time and I can keep feeling productive and like something's moving forward. I've gotten myself into the problem now that I have so many manuscripts and I want to work on all of them that I have to be like, wait, I'm working on this one right now. I gotta do this. Then I'll send out their query, and then I'll come and edit you, and then I'll come and write and world build you. So just take your turn. Chill your Guava manuscripts. Back off.
In one of my theatre classes, one of my professors was like, yes, when you do some acting, you're like, yes, and. Instead of always rejecting it firsthand, you're like, Cool beans. Anyways, that was way off topic, but in any case. So the problem I do find though, while you are waiting for a specific something to happen to move you forward in the next process of your writing or your publishing or whatever, is that then I actually started writing and I really got into the novel and I was like, yes, okay, this is going great, this is flowing fantastic, let's do this. And then my beta readers came back and I'm like, no, you're in my way right now. Like, shoo shoo. I don't want you right now. I want to write this novel. Now I have to put this novel down because I have to go back to my feedback to be able to edit that. And I'm just like, I don't like this. Like, I was very focused right now, and now you're distracting me. So, yes, ask me when last did I work on my other novel that I started writing this year? Don't ask me.
I remember a couple months ago you were talking about how you finally sat down and wrote a couple chapters in that new novel.
Yep.
I feel like a lot of times us authors, when we have a lot of ideas, we try to talk ourselves out of the ideas. And
Ooh.
I feel like that's the worst thing we could possibly do. If an idea is speaking to you, give it some room to breathe. You might put it to the side for a while you go back to the project you're wanting to do, but don't let the idea run away from you. Don't push it to the side and give it away to something else, because that idea might be the next thing that you need when you're done with this.
Very
It might
true.
not. You might go back to it and be like, what was I thinking? This is a really dumb idea. But you have to let those creative juices do what they do, and you have to let them out. Whether it's a book where you just write down your ideas, or that chapter that suddenly flashed in your brain, you write that down and you put it to the side. Some of those have become amazing books for me. Things that I just randomly wrote down 7 years ago have flourished into full novels that my readers are loving. So you don't want to stunt yourself by focusing too hard on one thing. And I know it sounds like, oh, doing a lot of work, but you can do it in a way that it doesn't completely distract you. Don't get upset that you have too many ideas. Too many ideas is a career.
Exactly. I am never angry when I have too many ideas. I'm like, thank goodness I'm getting ideas. Imagine I had no ideas. That would be very sad, a very sad day. I've wanted to query my novel for a very long time. I say, like the last year. And actually, I spoke to Claire about it, and I was like, I want to query my novel, but I have a few scenes that I still have to fix, and I have to do this, so can I just start querying it? And she was just like, maybe you should wait and fix your stuff before you query it, but I was like, I want to query it now. At the end of the day, you want to give your base novel a head, because I spent a year and a half working on the novel. So what would be a few extra months refining your manuscript, refining your characters and your scenes to have it be the base that you want to present to someone? I was like, okay, you know what? I won't die if I'm not gonna query right now, this very second. And luckily for me, we started this podcast. So I was like, had even less time. And so my focus was on the podcast then. So, little miracles, little miracles. But then I gave her my novel because she read it the first time that I started looking for beta readers. And so she was very kind and generous and said, no, she will read it again. And I was like, thank you very much. And so when I sent it to her again, when she gave me the feedback, she was like, I'm so glad that you waited, because it is so much better than it was before. Not that it was bad to begin with, but it's just so much tighter. It's so much stronger. Sometimes you just need to wait. Patience is a virtue. Isn't that like a saying or something?
Claire was telling me that the other day we were on our morning writing call, and she would, I am so proud of Nell because her book is so beautiful now and she's such a fantastic writer. But yeah, you have to be able to be honest with yourself of where things are at. Don't just push yourself through it, because what if your query is amazing and you get those requests from the perfect agents that you want, but your book's not ready and they see the problems? You don't want that to happen. You want that book to be the absolute best you can get it before you put it in front of those agents. And it's such a sinking feeling. I've seen it over and over again on different groups in the last probably 5 years, where people will say, I got the request and the pages aren't ready and I'm so heartbroken and I don't know what to do. Well, you're going to have to tell them, give me a month.
Yeah.
And most of those people, they say that and the agent goes, oh, it's not ready yet. Okay, never mind. If you're going to jump the gun, I don't know what else you're going to be impatient about. And so no,
Exactly.
okay, thank you, but no, thank you. Some of them are nice and say, oh, yeah, it's not a problem. Get it to me in a month or two.
Mm.
But you don't want to risk that, and you want to look professional. And this is probably more for my self-publishing authors, my indie authors out there, is when you release a book. It can be so exciting to want to go out there and release your book. You got all the edits, everything looks beautiful. You might even have a nice cover, and you're like, let's do this. I'm ready to go. Or maybe you're just so excited to get it out there that you don't spend the time on making sure your blurb is beautiful and your cover is beautiful. You just wrote the manuscript and you want to throw it out there because you're done and you want everybody else to have it. Absolutely take yourself a breath and step back. Don't release too soon and don't release too late. And a couple of things that I have gleaned from doing ARC reads, from talking with authors who are self-published, but also talking with traditional publishers. Traditional publishers, when they get your book ready, they still don't release for another 6 months. And that confused me at first as to why they would do that. And they would always say, because of marketing. Once we have that book beautiful, you do your ARC reads. Give your ARC readers time to read that book.
Yes.
It could be a couple of few months before your ARC readers are done reading that book. Get your marketing together. Go to the things like the New York Rights Fair to get your book out there, to be able to market it to libraries, to market it to bookstores. You want to take time to do that and to get your release team and your release party all together and done so that when you do it, it succeeds. If you push too fast, people aren't going to have it on their calendars. Maybe you want to be on podcasts and you want to get them to schedule you. For example, people are writing us right now. We want to be on your podcast. Great. We're planning season 3 that's not coming out for another 6 months.
Exactly.
So if your book releases next week, that's not going to do a lot of good. Our podcast will have you in 6 months. So you want to plan ahead for things like that and let yourself have the time to make that release the best it can possibly be.
Yes. I understand the business side of it, like you said about the marketing and you have to go to libraries. So I actually love Rebecca Danzen-Baker's account because I'm following it right now. And she's actually taking us on a journey because she is a debut author right now and her novel is going to be released in July. And so she will have little videos of her going to bookstores and talking to the owners and to be like, hi, this is my book, this is what I'm selling, and making connections and networking with people because you know what, a third and fourth and fifth book is going to come out, so then you have that connections that you can lean upon the next time that you actually do that. And she has like Goodreads giveaways that she's doing, and she has like opening her book for the first time. She has all these steps that she actually shows us she needs to do before her book will actually end up in your hand or on the shelves and things like that. So definitely go give her a follow and see what she is doing because I enjoy doing that, and especially as an author because it gives me an idea of what can be expected from me once I do get my agent and once I do have my own book published.
Exactly. And I absolutely love that she's taking you through that journey because I feel like readers a lot of times don't understand what that process is. And brand new writers coming from being readers don't understand that there is a lot more than just write it, edit it, put on a cover, and put it out there. That if you want it to succeed, there's a lot of little tiny steps you have to take in between. And being able to have the patience and the gumption to keep going forward through months and months, sometimes years of making sure everything is ready can be really hard. So take a deep breath, chill. It will come, and it is the process of continuing that makes that book the amazing thing that it will be and that your readers will absolutely enjoy. Let yourself take the time. Well, we like to keep things short and sweet here on Tea and Tales. Get your fingers back on the keyboard and your pens back on paper.
And if you love what we're doing here and you want to be a part of this lovely community that we have, go follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Threads at Tea and Tales Podcast, and on Twitter/X and TikTok at Podcast Tea Tales. And go to that little purple icon on your device or any other app that you have or where you are following us, and go comment and like and share, because sharing is caring, and that will help us to go up, 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 up to the top.
Happy writing!
Bye!